What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TGB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. This is, of course, the post-game show. We said it in the pregame show. Jay Higgins was going to get an INT. That was my bold prediction. That happened. Shout out to Jay Higgins. Shout out to Lajohntay Wester for that immaculate punt return touchdown. I believe it was Void who predicted he would get a punt return touchdown. But if you're new to the channel, new to the series, live streams before and after every Baltimore Ravens game, Q&A basically, talking about recapping, previewing, basically any questions that you guys have, I will answer. I'm live on both YouTube and then TikTok as well. So, obviously I'm going to wait a couple of minutes before I really dive into all of my thoughts on the game. But overall, one of the first things, shout out to Cade. Cade's in the chat. Void's in the chat. Void said could have paid me to throw 3 for 11. I put out a tweet saying there's no way Malik Cunningham is worse than Devin Leary. Put him under center. Obviously, Tyler Loop. Caden wants thoughts on Tyler Loop. Tyler Loop, 1 for 2. I would say I'm disappointed in the performance by him. It wasn't an egregious miss. He had a good tackle on the kickoffs. He made the longer field goal. But honestly, I talked about it in a short form video. I cut that part up just basically saying, like, hey, kickers have to be essentially perfect. And he wasn't perfect tonight, and it was very noticeable. He missed that kick. They had a chance that the Colts had the chance at the end to tie it. Obviously, I don't think there's even overtime in preseason, so it wouldn't have necessarily mattered. But in the regular season, that's going to matter. So, I think a disappointing debut for Tyler Loop. James knows what's up. Lajohntay Wester with a terrific return. I put out a tweet. Let's see exactly what I said. But I tweeted out after his first punt return, so not the punt return touchdown. And I tweeted out saying, hey, Wester is that guy, man. Love that electricity. And then his next return, he takes it to the house in a terrific move. It wasn't just a straight line run. It was multiple cuts, multiple guys missed, and he was able to take it to the house. And then as a wide receiver, which I talked about, he's not just a return specialist. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. He made a great catch on the outside in difficult coverage. Shout out to Devin Leary. Probably the only good throw he made all day was his throw to Lajohntay Wester. It was pretty funny because I saw Tez Walker. He got an opportunity. Like, he got open downfield, and Devin Leary just like completely sailed him. And he just like Tez Walker's like, what am I supposed to do, man? Like, if the quarterback can't hit me, how am I supposed to show what's going on? And Caden, yeah, you're definitely right. Like, there's definitely nerves involved in a kick like this, but let's be realistic. This is like it's a preseason game. This is a rookie kicker that's going to have to be kicking on, in the playoffs, kicking against the Chiefs, against the Bills, not the Colts in the preseason. So I don't necessarily think nerves is huge. Like, one of the biggest things about nerves is you either got them or you don't, and you're going to be able to work through them or you're not. And we'll see what happens. I'm not writing him off. I'm not saying he's done. And let's see. We see Wrong Siren says, what's up? Hyping up Lajohntay Wester as we should. James S. J. Higgins is he gonna make the 53-man? I would love for him to. Teddy Buchanan didn't have anything sensational happen today. He was pretty underwhelming. Trenton Simpson, underwhelming. And that's just frustrating for a team that really needs that linebacker position. Jay Higgins was the only one making plays. Now, at the same time, he was playing very late into the game, which is when those plays were made. He didn't get a lot of opportunities early, which I would have liked to see. I hope that next week and the week after that, he's able to actually get some earlier reps to go against some better competition so that we can see how well he really does play, because I've always said that he's a really good pass coverage linebacker. He's going to be able to make plays in the passing game, and that's exactly what he did. Now it's time to see if he can do it against the better players. Void says, I don't think the other kicker should have been cut. I think they cut him for a reason. I think that they're either going with Tyler Loop or they're going to go with a veteran that they sign. So I don't necessarily think that going after a UDFA kicker versus a rookie kicker that they drafted is like a big debate. I think it was more we're getting one of the rookies and potentially signing a free agent. I think that's what they're looking at, because you can easily say we're going to sign Blankenship, or the old Colts kicker, the guy that was from Georgia, sign him for 10 weeks, and then when Justin Tucker is reinstated, just re-sign Tucker um, as a worst case fallback scenario. Void said somehow worse than Josh Johnson. He is much worse than Josh Johnson. Yeah, Blankenship. I always get confused because the Colts punter is also Blankenship, and it's like Rigoberto and Rodrigo, I think, are their two names. Rodway brings up 77. Yes, 77 is still bad. I am very, very aware of that. I've always been aware of how bad he is. The problem is the Ravens it just seems like they're not really trying to address it, which is unfortunate. Rod also says we need to try and find a backup quarterback. I think we have a backup quarterback. It's Cooper Rush. We need a third quarterback. Devin Leary is like the worst quarterback in the NFL. Can't help. He says he's a follow truther. You can keep trying. Did Mike Green do good? Mike Green looked solid. Mike Green made a couple of plays. He didn't get credit for a sack that he had pressure on with Adisa Isaac. He was able to kind of force the quarterback. I can't remember who the quarterback was. I think it was Daniel Jones at that time. Forced Daniel Jones to step up. And then Adisa Isaac was able to wrap him up top while Mike Green went low. So Mike Green looked solid. He was getting solid rush, solid push. I was able to make a couple of plays. So I definitely liked what I saw out of Mike Green. Black Daniel says Leary has to go. He was tossing prayers. Dude, if prayers have a higher success rate, I got to say, than Devin Leary passes. Like he was, they weren't even prayers. Like he was just throwing the ball and not even hoping for anything. He was just throwing it to throw it. Shout out to Fub. Yeah, Fub had a huge PBU. He was definitely getting some push. He was in on a couple of tackles. I don't know if he got any credit for any run stops, but I know he was there in the mix on a couple of them. It's really difficult to tell on first watch exactly who's going to get credit for each stop. But Fub definitely looked solid. I liked it. Clips asked, how did I get a Nike Lamar Jackson autograph? That was sent to me by the Baltimore Ravens. I won that. The Ravens sent it to me. So shout out to the Baltimore Ravens for sending it to me. It is an official true jersey. Like without the autograph, it's a $350 jersey, or I think it's $350 jersey. It had the price tag from when they pulled it off the shelf without the autograph. But yes, the Baltimore Ravens did send me that jersey. Lou Will asks for standouts. I mean, I think there were a lot of standouts. One was Jay Higgins, obviously. Another, I would say, is TJ Tampa. Just impressed me that he played basically the entire game. It felt like he wasn't able to be targeted. He had a good PBU on a deep pass to Adonai Mitchell, which I said was going to be the weakness of him if he has to cover Adonai Mitchell on the deep passes, because AD Mitchell has a ton of speed, and he was able to catch up to him and get a nice PBU. So I definitely liked what I saw out of him. Another standout very clearly, Lajohntay Wester. Jalen Armour Davis. Yeah, Jalen Armour Davis actually looked pretty solid. He had a couple of PBUs on AD Mitchell, and I can't remember the receiver's name, 15 or 16 for the Colts. JAD actually looked pretty solid. It was unfortunate we didn't get to see a lot of Anthony Richardson, but overall, like, nothing you can do about a dislocated pinky. Lovia asked, what was the play of the game? For me, I'm obviously going with the Lajohntay Wester punt return touchdown. It was electric, especially after his first return. It was like, okay, this guy can really do something. And then they punt it to him, and he just takes off immediately. So I would say the Wester's return. Void agrees with me. Ojabo did level AR. Void, I know you predicted that somebody was going to get a massive hit on the quarterback, but I don't think that it was David Ojabo. So unfortunately, you were almost there with the pick. And yes, Bilal Kone did tear his ACL and MCL, which is really unfortunate because I had seen him make a couple of plays, and it was just really unfortunate that his rookie season comes to an end. Oh, you said it was going to be Malik Ham. That's right. Yeah. Bilal Kone, really unfortunate to see an injury. You hate to see injuries for your team, anybody. Um, he made a nice play on the ball on that play too. He forced incompletion and his knee just got messed up. And it was very clear right when it happened that he was going to be out, even though we couldn't necessarily see anything. Anytime somebody goes down like that and they're holding their knee, when I saw it happen, I was like, please tell me he just like banged knees with whoever the receiver was, but it didn't look like that. So Brian asked, how did the O-line look? Overall, there were some positives, but the problem is most of the starters didn't play. And the big negatives were from the starters. Daniel Faalele looks about exactly the same as what he is. He gets absolutely leveled in the in bull rushes. He just doesn't have the foot speed to be able to stand up quick enough, and he just gets pushed back. And a lot of people were blaming, oh, he tripped over the center. He got pushed back so far into the center's blocking path. That was the reason that he fell. And those are the types of plays that you can't have when you're the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson under center. It's just having a D lineman, a non-starting D lineman, bull over your starting right guard in the preseason. So Faalele, unfortunately, did not look good, which is obviously the biggest concern we have on our offensive line. Andrew Voorhees looked definitely solid in the run game. I want to rewatch the game before I give like a ton of getting a ton of insights on that exactly how well every offensive lineman played. But I think the biggest weakness was Faalele. The biggest strength was Voorhees in the run game, at least from what I saw on first watch. Malachi Starks did get a good tackle. Yeah, Malachi Starks had a nice hit on the tight end Tyler Warren on the first drive. Malachi Starks, I think, only played one drive. Maybe he played two. He did not play a lot. The rest of the guys, though, when you're looking at the secondary and who played, I feel like Sanusi Kane definitely made a good amount of plays, to potentially be that number 3. I think he made more plays than Bo Braid. Did Jair get in? No, Jair did not play. None of the veterans played. The only like mainstay Ravens veterans that were there was like Brent Urban got a little bit of run. I don't even know of any other vets that got playing time other than Brent Urban. As a Steelers fan, my favorite thing about your guys is your secondary. Yeah, I mean, our secondary is nasty. The problem is, it's just, what's going to happen? Can they all stay healthy? Can the pass rush get home? It's a lot of fun. Clips asked, why did the Ravens send me a jersey? So back in 2019, the Ravens did a season-long competition, and I won it. And the prize was a signed Lamar jersey, and I won it. So, haha. And the channel was around at that point. So that was the first season of TTB Ravens Media. And I don't even know if it was called TTB Ravens Media at that time. I think it was just the Trust the Bank podcast, which became TTB Ravens Media. So for the lore, for all of you on TikTok that aren't around as long as YouTube hasn't been around as long as the podcast, which the podcast we barely even post on anymore. We just record it. How do you feel about the Loop missed field goal? I feel like it was a missed field goal. It's not like, here's the thing. There's nothing good about a miss. Like, if it was a bad hold, then you could, potentially do it. But it seemed like a good hold. He just overhooked it. Well, luckily he was able to bounce back and hit the next one. But unfortunate. Mike Green, I liked Mike Green's performance. I think he looked solid. He had a great first step. He got around the tackles. He set the edge. He got pressures on the quarterback. So I definitely liked what I saw to Mike Green. I think if he has a full game, you can absolutely expect the player that we saw today in Mike Green get you sacks when you need them. Someone said something about Flacco that I missed. Hey, if we could bring in Flacco to be our backup quarterback, let's do it, because we could use any backup quarterback in the NFL. I would take Tyler Huntley, and I despise Tyler Huntley, but Tyler Huntley at least can do something. Wrong siren. No, we're not bringing back the Amon. We did it in the pregame show. We were hyped, but we were talking about Amon Marshall, and now you're bringing it back, trying to hate on Amon Marshall. Let's see here. Voight said Daniel Falalalala Baymax from Big Hero 6. Oh my gosh. The O-line can't compete against the top team's D-line, and we wonder why we keep losing in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, the Ravens' run game gets shut down when teams absolutely lock in on it, because the offensive line struggles for such a consistent basis that they just can't. Like, you can just run at Daniel Falele and you will get by him. Like, the benefit is the Ravens have good tackles and they have a good center, but they're two guards. We'll see what happens with Andrew Voorhees. I'm not writing him off yet. He looked good in this game, but Falele is just, I mean, he shouldn't be on the field. Let's be realistic. He should not be playing as a starting offensive lineman in the NFL. Swing tackle, I'm good with that. But man, he should not be a starting guard. Wrong Siren said during halftime, Loop had missed 5+ times from that exact spot. He was struggling from that side and that distance. Every kick push left during halftime. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I know the wind is really difficult at M&T Bank Stadium. I wonder if that was the reasoning for it. But just one thing that actually annoyed me that I want to bring up is in the third quarter, maybe it was the fourth quarter, the Ravens get it, and it's like 4th and 1 at like the 42. I was like, bring out Loop. Like, why are we punting the ball in this situation? It's preseason. Who cares? Give him a 60-yard field goal. Like, that was dumb, in my opinion. Like, who cares if you lose? Like, 60-yard field goal matters. Like, let's try that. Let's see what happens. I'd rather see Trey Lance over Trace McSorley. Dude, I'd get either of them. I hate Tanner McKeon. I'd rather have Tanner McKeon. I know he played well today, but, you know, that kind of hurts my argument. But I think Tanner McKee's terrible. But it's rough. When they learn to shut down the run, we should step up in the pass. That's what should happen. The problem is our pass blocking on the interior is so rough. And when they're shutting down the run, they're shooting those guards, and the guards get overwhelmed, and it hurts the passing game. Another thing that I want to bring up, Keaton Mitchell. Shout out to Keaton Mitchell. Looked terrific. I said, like, somebody asked me in the pregame show, like, hey, are we going to get a rushing touchdown? I was like, with Keaton Mitchell, like, yes. Like, who wouldn't be surprised if that happened? We need Ravens legend Kare Vedvik. Dude, we should bring back Kare Vedvik. What's up, Isaiah Winters? Kare Vedvik was a legend in preseason. I would love, I mean, I don't know what he's doing. He probably hasn't played in 5 years, but Kare Vedvik, legend. We got to bring him back. Rasheen Ali, yeah, Rasheen Ali wasn't bad either. Had that really good kick return, which I was excited about. It was definitely better at kick return than Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell's just a much better runner of the football. How did Mike Green do? I think Mike Green did well. Didn't statistically like overperform or anything like that, but had some good pressures. Almost had a sack that Adisa Isaac ended up getting a sack. Voight said bring in destroying. Hey, you know what? Let's give him a tryout. Let's give him a tryout. I want to see Mike Green's stats. Mike Green ended up with. Did he have any stats? Yes, he had 1 tackle, 1 solo tackle, 2 total tackles. It's over. Thoughts on Lajohntay? I was a big fan of Lajohntay when we drafted him. I felt like as a punt returner, he'd be special. And then after I watched the film, I talked to you guys about how he's not just a return specialist. He can play outside. He can play in the slot. I mean, we saw, and a lot of people just slotted him as a slot receiver, for lack of a better term. But he went out there as an outside receiver, and gets a jump ball and gets opportunities down the field. And that was something that I was really excited about. Was as a pass catcher, he looked really solid. In all seriousness, now after tonight, Emory Jones has a legit chance to replace Falele. Dude, he better. If he can get healthy, I feel like he should be able to get there. I mean, it's not that, dude. I feel like you could put me out there, and I'm 5'10", and I think I could do all right. What are your thoughts on Ojabo? Ojabo looked really solid. That was someone that I was yet to mention. But Ojabo looked really good. He obviously had the blitz sack where they just didn't pick him up. But even outside of that, it looked like he was getting good pressure, good pass rush, good lift, and things like that. So I definitely liked what I saw out of David Ojabo. But it wasn't anything like, oh my gosh, he's at 100%, but it was like, hey, you know what? This is the guy that we drafted, and we're actually starting to see him. Did Dellinger play? Um, Not that I was noticing, but somebody could correct me if Dellinger did play. I don't think I noticed him once, but please let me know if I was wrong. Ojabo always looks good in the preseason, sucks in the regular season. I mean, Ojabo's like barely played. Mike asked, shout out to Mike. Mike asked thoughts on Anthony Richardson's gameplay. I thought it was pretty Anthony Richardson-esque. I guess that's how I'll describe it. Does David Ojabo make the roster? Here's the thing. David Ojabo is too high potential a player to just cut with how he's played in the preseason. I mean, his problem hasn't been production, it's been injuries. So if he's healthy, I think he definitely makes the 53. Because I think it's much more likely that one of the other pass rushes that we have goes, unnoticed on the waiver wire and things like that. That's true. Not noticing an O lineman, assuming he played. That's a good thing. That is true. I did see Nick Samick play. I did notice him. He was playing towards the end of the game, who we drafted in the 7th round out of Michigan State last year. Chances on the right Ravens signing Sheriff for depth. Here's the thing. Sheriff's like a high-end guard, or at least he was for most of his career. I feel like if he comes back, like he's going to want some money. Okay, thank you, wrong siren. He said that Dellinger did play, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Head wasn't on a swivel. I saw Kirk Benkert, whatever you guys want to think about Kirk Benkert. He was talking about how the sack was just AR's fault because he didn't recognize that it was like a blitz from the release player's side. Which is funny because I mean it wasn't the blind side. It was just he stood there, he took it on the chops. Give Ojabo a 3-year deal. Whoa, I would not pay Ojabo right now. I would much rather just let him walk, if anything else, because $5 million a year for a guy that's played. I mean, he hasn't even played in 16 games in his career. AR's letting his career slip away. Here's the thing about Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson has never been a winning football player. Like they would lose in high school. He lost at Florida. He lost at obviously Indianapolis. He's always been that super high potential guy that people are like, if we can turn him around, then we'll get it. I just don't. I've never really been a huge believer on him actually getting it turned around. Someone asked on TikTok, who's going to get Micah? I feel like the Cowboys re-sign Micah, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he could go somewhere. I feel like I just don't know what team would trade for him and pay him. I feel like it would have to be a really bad team because most of the contending teams, they're pretty, stuck in the cap. Like, I wouldn't be too surprised. Maybe the Raiders would make a deal for him or something like that. Like Pete Carroll would be like, you know what, we're gonna go all in. We're gonna get, 2 of the top 7 pass rushers or edge rushers in the NFL, maybe 2 top 5. Max Crosby might actually be top 5, so he probably is top 5. So 2 top 5 pass rushers in the NFL on one team. I kind of like the Raiders as a landing spot for him, I guess, would be my answer. I'd rather give Ardarius that money over Ojabo. Yeah, definitely. It just depends on Ardarius. Is Ardarius going to want to come back? I know he was pissed that we hit him with a restricted free agent and he didn't get signed by anybody. So it was unfortunate for him, and he ended up making a lot less money than he should have for 1 year. And he obviously is going to miss the entire season. So that's very unfortunate. And then I'd rather give our Jerry isn't letting him go. Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to let go of one of the best players in the NFL at a key position. Micah today already sitting out with the iconic "My back hurts." Yeah. After tonight, I believe Mike Green can reach 11 sacks this season. I just don't know if he's going to get the opportunity to do it. I think he could have a pretty high pass rush win rate and success percentage, but I don't necessarily think that it's going to be 10 sacks. I mean, I think we could see 7 or something like that. I think 7 would be I'd be really excited about. Even though he sucks overall as a coach, one thing I can say is we consistently have good. Here's the thing: we actually don't have consistently good special teams. Over the last 7 years, we've had some of the worst special teams units in the NFL. But this year, special teams is back. Good special teams. But yeah, we haven't had a good kick return, special teams, especially coverage under Harbaugh and return specialists. We really haven't had that great. Devin Duvernay was okay for a little bit. Obviously, Jacoby Jones was terrific, but those are really our only two threats. And then now Lajohntay Wester as well. Shout out Talon Wallace though. He did house that punt against the Rams, so we got to give him credit. We need Falele to the Chargers since Slater is done, and we can get Bozeman back. Brother of John can take him. You know what? I'd make that trade. I would make that trade. I don't think Jim Harbaugh would make that trade, but I think that we'd make that trade. Ravens legend James Prochet. Yeah, no, not Ravens legend. Not Ravens legend at all. Let's see here. I don't know. Was there anybody else that you guys want me to talk about? I mean, I'm definitely going to keep the stream going for a little bit. We've got people on TikTok. Someone wants me to buy it. Their Lamar Jackson rookie patch auto card. It's a 1 of 1. I probably don't have the money to purchase a 1 of 1 RPA from Lamar. I don't have too many 1 of 1s. I do have 1 of 1 optic rookie for my favorite football player, so I guess I have that. What set is it from? Let me know the set. I probably won't buy it, but it's from a really cool set. I'm just curious to what 1 of 1 you have. I wonder why the Ravens never made a move for Mekhi back then. I don't know. I mean, I think they were just so set in their ways of really trying the Falele experiment that it's just kind of hurting them in the long run. Black Box and I have his true RPA. Dang, that's sick. I don't have a lot of Lamar cards. I've got a 2021 select out of 25. That's probably my best field level. I think is what it is. Or field level or sweet level. I can't remember which one. Who is Wiggins fighting yesterday? He fought up. It was someone on the punt return. Wiggins came off the bench. He didn't actually fight someone. He ran off the sideline and threw punches in the mosh pit. What about the safety play with Braid and Kane? The safeties looked good. I mean, there were no big plays over the top. They really struggled in the red zone. They couldn't get by them. Everything that was given to them was about completely underneath. Was just the underneath game. So it's just kind of dang. You guys are asking about my card collection. One day I'll have to show off my cards because I'm trying to sell some. I'm trying to sell my Justin Fields card. That's what I'm trying to sell. Is Nate Wiggins going to get in trouble? No, he's fine. Do you think Dayton Wade will make our roster? I'm scared someone else will snag him from us. I don't think he'll make the roster. I mean, it was kind of unfortunate that the first play we tried to jump ball to him and it was just a bad ball and it got picked. That was our first pass attempt. But I don't think anyone will pick him up considering what happened last year. We cut him and nobody picked him up. So I feel like he's got a chance once again to just kind of hang out. Free agent O lineman. Let's see who the free agent O linemen are. Free agent O line. Free agent O line. Available. So Brandon Sheriff, Shaq Mason is currently available. Jedrick Wills is currently available. George Fant is currently available. I mean, these are decent options. I just don't think the Ravens are going to make a move to move on from Falele, which is crazy. Raven Clark. I've never heard of that guy in my life, but it sounds like he should be a Raven. He's been in the NFL for 8 years. from the Eagles, I guess. Backup lineman, I assume. Well, actually, I know he's a backup lineman. Wiggins is 170, soaking wet. He does not need to fight anyone. No, I think he's up to 182, if I'm remembering correctly. I think he's 182 this year. I think. Someone should correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe Nate Wiggins 182. What else? Record prediction. 14-3 is my record prediction. The Ravens probably should go 15-2, or 16-1, but I think 14-3. I think their floor, if healthy, is like 12-5. But I think 14-3 that's like what I'd expect. But also I have high expectations. So maybe that's a negative, but I see it's positive. Sorry, I was looking at my beard length because I never see it at this angle. I like this length. Sorry for me just staring into the camera. I don't think the Ravens will move on from their starters. Yeah, I agree. 12-5 record prediction. Void said, Ravens don't know what to do with our talent. Lajohntay, Wester, or Wade catch a jet sweep or jailbreak screen so they can work. Yeah, I think that the Ravens just don't want to utilize the screen game in the preseason because it's such a big part of their actual offense that they don't want to kind of give cues into when they're going to run it. Ravens legend Tyler Beatty. Shout out Tyler Beatty out of Missouri. I liked him out of Missouri. I remember scouting him before the Ravens picked him up. Mason would be best case scenario. Shaq Mason would be sick. I mean, here's the thing: his last contract, he was making $12 million a year. That's a lot. I wonder how Genty's doing. I saw he got 1 carry on their first drive. Does anyone know if he's been getting the ball at all? I don't have the game on. I'm looking it up because I'm really curious. Genty has 3 carries, -1 yards. Wow, that's rough. Yeah, I think we had a bunch of different guys because Keaton Mitchell was one of the initial guys, and he kind of showed like, hey, I'm like that on offense. They were like, all right, let's not get you hurt. And then Rasheen Ali, he was done and he had a good return. So they're like, they want to just keep seeing different people. If Wester doesn't have drops issues, yeah, I think he could. He has the skill set and the potential to do it. It's just, seeing how his hands work, how his route running progresses. I mean, I don't expect him to have a huge role this year. I'd like him to have some role on the offensive side of the ball, but I think overall, like, there's definitely a path for him to becoming like a premier receiver for the Ravens. Absolutely, especially if we don't re-sign Sam. Let's see here. I wonder who's the top player still available. Oh, Christian Wilkins. That makes sense. Amari Cooper's still available. Amari Cooper's still available. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Za'Darius Smith is still available. Marcus Williams is available. We better not bring in Marcus Williams. Matt Judon is available right now. That's an interesting player to potentially go after. I would definitely be like happy if we could bring in Matt Judon, but I don't think Matt Judon likes the Ravens very much because of what happened. Preston Smith, that's a solid player. James Bradbury at corner, we don't need. Oh, excuse me. Clowney. I think Justin Simmons is definitely a name to watch, though. He's a free agent. Maybe like a Josie Jewell. Josie Jewell has a ton of starting linebacker experience. He'd be better than any of the guys that we have. That would definitely be a good option. We could bring in Gerald Everett. He's a free agent right now. Good tight end option. While Isaiah Likely is running his own thing. But I think Carson Wentz is a free agent right now. That's who we should bring in. He should be starting for us next week. Carson Wentz for sure. And I see people want Clowney. Why did we get Hopkins when we could have gotten Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper? Just different play types. Keenan Allen is very similar to a Rashad Bateman type. Amari Cooper, again, the same. And also Keenan Allen and Amari are much older. And they both waited much longer to sign. Like, we got Hopkins for cheap, and we got him quick. The two best things you can ask for in a free agency signing. It's very rare to get the two of those together. Eddie Pinheiro is a kicker that is currently available. Andrews Pete, he's a lineman that was available. I'm actually just going to look up kickers just so we know. Matt Prater is currently available. Zane Gonzalez is available. Cade York is available. Austin Seibert is available. Michael Badgley, definitely a good amount of guys if needed. Asante Samuel Jr. is still available. I like Asante Samuel Jr. I like Asante Samuel too, but I don't think we can get him. Yeah, that makes sense. Like Keenan Allen was like basically going to retire, and then he was like, "All right, I'll go back to living in San Diego or Los Angeles. Both very nice places to live. Very good weather out there if you like the sun." But do you guys have any final questions before I wrap up the stream? I definitely want to answer anything that you guys want to ask, but just kind of depends on if you guys got questions or not. If Nick Nash is cut, we should bring him in. It's for depth, big body type receiver. Yeah, I love Nick Nash. He's with the Falcons right now. I just don't see him. I feel like he could definitely get cut, but at the same time, like, we won't get him. Like, first of all, some team is probably going to reach out to him. He's the Triple Crown winner. Someone would reach out to him and try and give him a roster spot, but we'll see how he performs in the preseason. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited. I mean, I love watching Atlanta. Like, I love their players. I love the way their roster is built. I'm excited to see what happens there. Yeah, tomorrow's games, we got the Falcons and the Lions tomorrow. That'll be fun to watch just for Falcons purposes to see some of their young defensive players. That'll be interesting. Sign Prochet and play him at quarterback. Honestly, his throw where he threw an interception against the Broncos, about the same probability of completion as any Devin Leary played. Can you see us making a trade at the deadline for D tackle depth if the play is bad? Yes, D tackle is not difficult to trade for. So I could definitely see it if we're not performing, but I feel like D tackle is not a big concern of mine. I love Travis Jones. I love Nnamdi. I love Fub Peebles. I like John Jenkins as well. So, I mean, I don't see it. I don't necessarily think it will happen, but if it's playing poorly, I think it could happen. Do you think there's a chance someone signs Isaiah Bond? No, I think he's too slow. Unfortunately. But maybe. He's really slow for his play style. Bond is cooked. Yeah, Bond is cooked. All right, everyone. I think that's going to do it. Well, I'm already yawning. This is not a good sign considering I've got a lot of stuff to do tonight. But thank you all so much for joining. Make sure to subscribe, follow for more. I'll have some short form videos out tomorrow as well as a full long form video as well. Thank you so much. And I will see all of you. Again, someone said we should try and get Aaron Donald. You know what? If we get Aaron Donald, that'd be pretty good. But on that note, thank you all so much. I'll see you again next time.